Hey, welcome back. This is another episode of Cleftland Nights, in which we discuss the gaming of me and my friends over the last week. This is for the history of from the week of 10 January 2017. Still not used to saying 2017 yet. Hopefully, get used to it. And wasn't a lot of gaming going on because of other things coming up. But we'll focus on what we got. Maybe I can make it extend a little bit longer just by rambling on about him. So, we last left our heroes on day one on Black World. Black World is the asteroid with a Luna device that our three teams, Alex Prentice's team, the Argonauts, made up of Hope Spaulding, Batman, Monet, Charles Xavier, David Adeline, Tessa, and Minnie McCready. And Chris Ritz's team, called Stars, made up of Kamala Khan, Clarice Ferguson, Mary Marvel, Wally West, Sam Alexander, Peter Parker, and Gwen Stacy. And then the third team, Omega Dawn, which is Christopher Lord's team, played by Joel Hastings. And that's got Adriana Tomez, Megan Morse, Zatanna's, I don't know where her last name is. Calvin Rankin, Sam Guthrie, Alan Scott, and Big Barda. So the teams have landed at this Luna sort of device. Each of the docking in the hangar bays and such. We discussed last week that a Megadon took up the alleyway. And they quickly go up into the ops area. I think Christopher Lord does this trying to get the prime real estate, but he doesn't realize most of the rooms up there are offices and small bedrooms, not like the apartments in the dorms that we're calling it now, dormitories, nearby 200 or 600 some rooms for these 10 teams for these 2 weeks or 20 years. We haven't got that far yet. Well, still got this cold throat, working on it. Hopefully it goes away soon. And we got, after he goes up to what he thinks is prime real estate in the ops control center, the command and control tower. It's about 10 stories high and looks over the rest of the asteroid and the shrine base, if you will. Luna. We call it Luna. The whole thing is called a Luna device. That's what I've always called it. But it's not on the moon. It's on a asteroid. Well, while they're up there and the team Stars and the team Argonauts, they go to the dorms and situate themselves, everybody picking rooms. All by themselves. Some of them are right next to somebody else, and some of them are far from everybody. And one example of two people living together is Monet and Charles. As we've heard, they've already formed this relationship. They move into a place together and start enjoying themselves a little bit more. Their privacy. Even though with everybody's telepathy, it's not too private, but more so, farther distance than being on the ship. Christopher Lord says, hey, to his Omega Dawn, that we're going to meet soon down in the Fantasia device where we're going to go on a camping trip. He wants to do the same sort of thing that Marv Wolfman, I think it was Marv Wolfman, and George Perez did in Tales of the Teen Titans way back in the 80s, which was a cool idea. Take your team and spend some time with them. camping in the Grand Canyon. Now, recently, if anybody's read the new Champions, where some of Chris's team is on that team in the comics, they kind of did a similar thing. I don't know how many issues that they're going to spend doing that, but Tales of the Teen Titans was just awesome for us back then. It felt like you really thought that they were human, more than just their characters doing missions. Is the way they write them today. They don't seem to write them with real lives, and so that was real life. And then this is what people have been wanting to do with their teams, is to spend time gaming with them and talking with them and having fun with them. So that's what he's doing. Chris takes Stars on a tour of the place, while Alex also gets his team and they meet in the gym together to find out what they're going to do next. And I think that they're planning on doing a similar, not camping trip, but like staying at a resort in the Fantasia device. Fantasia device can run like 4 different worlds at the same time, so they could do this sort of adventure. And I think it was Monet's idea for the Argonauts to go spend themselves like time in Fiji, probably because she wants to be scantily clad. So much for that Muslim. But Kamala Khan wouldn't want to spend that time because she's a different Muslim. Anyways. If anybody has any comments about that, feel free to leave a comment. And I would still love to stop saying All right. So they game around that, and pretty interesting this conversations. You can really see that there's characters are leaning towards one or the other in relationships. It still seems that the more distant of team is a Megadon, as far as joining all together. With Stars, most of everybody's teenagers, so they get along because for that factor. And with Argonauts, with their massive group telepathy, seems to be a lot closer for that aspect. So we'll see how it goes. It seems that Omegadon's more like a big god team, and maybe the mundane camping trip might not be enough to pull them all together. We'll see. No updates for Earth 210 with Magneto's team and what's going on. We didn't get to play that much. After everybody got done gaming, we went on to play some more Magic and planescaping and stuff. And Chris won 2 more games, back-to-back wins. I can't win nothing, but I get clear down to the end, so can't win. I would love it if a certain Ray Moore out there picked up his deck and come down and played against us. You hear that, Ray? Give it a shot. I dare you. Anyways, well, speaking of Ray, I got to game a little bit with him via email and text, and a little bit further with the 2 siblings. He's playing where we last leave our heroes in Cleftland. Yeah, we haven't been playing a lot of Cleftland updates because we're doing this Magic playing. It has been fun, but it's hard for them to play Cleftland, I think. Complicated, maybe. But nonetheless, we digress. Okay, back to Ray was playing in Cleftland, still on day 2, up in Camelot. His the Marquise Skyon, Kyle, and his sister Heather. Not the Marquise, the Baron's Skyon, and his sister Kyle and Heather have flown out to this villa out in the mountains and see where there are aqueducts water. And they find out that the place is run by the army's general or Lord Commander, Uther Pendragon. Anyways, as they're flying back, then they fly along the aqueduct back to Camelot and having a conversation. Mostly Heather talking about, Kyle, why are you dating this girl, Clarice Ferguson? Yes, it's Clarice Ferguson. Different version than the one that's on Stars on Black World. This one is she was on previously on came from 10.3 originally on Beth's team, Earth Force, and she didn't get to spend the 20 years on Blue World with the rest of her team. She teleported and was gone, and then when she reappears, and she blinks, and it's 20 years later. So she's still a kid, somewhat experienced with her powers still, but young. So when she meets the Baron's son, Kyle, develops this relationship with him. Mostly, I mean, he's mute, so he's talking sign language, and that kind of draws a relationship between them, and they get a little intimate, a lot. And Heather's not understanding this and how he could just do that with some chick that they barely know each other. But he's like, hey, we have a lot of fun, and he doesn't know where it's going to go. So, that's most of the gaming, and it's really interesting just trying to get more gaming done with this cold. I'm spending a lot of time. Wife had surgery, so I'm driving her back and forth. Anyways, that's it for this week. This video should take no time in uploading. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Feel like you want to subscribe above or over there. This video thing is the opposite direction over there. And tune in next week where we'll find out what else happens with our heroes stuck on Black World and what adventures they'll have in the Fantasia device. Also, what else will we find about Cleftland? Depending on certain people showing up to game or not, because we still might play Magic, but we'll find out more. Tune in. All right, see ya. Peace. Hasta luego.